Now let's just remove all these editing. So I'm just putting all the options which was there way before in the filter. Now it's actually became a preset. So let's move on to the next filter, which says number format, and it says 1000 separator. So the default version of 1000 separator of CTX feed is comma. When it comes to pricing, after every 3 digit it will put a comma to separate the thousands, and you have the option to change this comma with anything you want to. There is another box which says decimal separator, and obviously you will have to separate the decimals using the dot symbol here. As a decimal separator, dot is being used almost everywhere around the world. At least I personally don't know about any other decimal separator apart from dot. And this box, number of decimal, it says 2. That means it will take only 2 digit after the fractional number, and by default number of decimal remains 2. You can change this number from 2 to anywhere as your likings. If you want 3 digit after your decimal separator, you can take 3 digit or whatever you want. Let me give you an example about number format for understanding purpose. If you go to your product, you can see all the price is showing here, and there is always 2 digit showing after the decimal separator, and it's showing all over this product list, and it's also showing a comma after every 3 digit of your price. So if you want to change it, you just need to change it here. For example, if you want your 1000 separator to be a dot, you can do that. If you want your decimal separator as slash, you can do that as well. If you want your number of decimal, let's just say 5 digit after decimal separator. So if you just update and generate the feed and go to the XML file, look at any product. Let's just search for a product and see the pricing, what changed. You can see that after 60 it's showing a slash, and I actually used slash as a decimal separator. So instead of dot, it's showing a slash, and after the slash, that means after the decimal separator, there are 5 digits showing over here, which is 50 obviously because the price was $60. Now let's search for suit. It has the product ID of 220, and if you see the pricing of suit, it says 3.000, but it doesn't mean the price of suit is 3. It actually changed comma to dot, so it's actually 3000, and this slash means the decimal separator, so it's actually $3000. So don't get this wrong over here. I'm just giving all these symbols as an example just to make you understand. Now let's just redo everything as it was before. Decimal separator, dot, number of decimal, 2 digit. Okay, I'm done with the number format. Now let's just move on with the next filter, which is campaign URL builder. You can see 5 boxes below this filter which says campaign URL builder: campaign source, campaign medium, campaign name, campaign term, and campaign content. So I'm gonna go through all these 5 boxes and how it functions. So let's start with campaign source. Your campaign source actually identify the advertiser's site, publication, etc. For example, your campaign source can be Google, newsletter, etc. Let's just build a campaign URL and generate this on feed. So I'm gonna put my campaign source as summer mailer. That means I want want to identify the advertisers this campaign as summer mailer. So I want to promote all the product that I have belongs under this certain campaign, and I want to promote them via a mail. Now let's talk about campaign medium. So campaign medium is basically the advertising or marketing medium. For example, the medium can be CPC, banner, email, etc. And for this particular campaign, I want to put my campaign medium as email. So I'm putting my campaign medium as email. The next you can see that campaign name. So you have to give your campaign a name, and by which you can identify your campaign. For example, your campaign name can be product, promo code, or slogan. As I've put my campaign source as summer mailer, I'd like to build a campaign as summer sale. So I want to generate a campaign named summer sale, and I want to put all the product which I want to advertise by the label of this campaign, which I'd like to promote in the upcoming summer. So let's just put the campaign name as summer sale. So I'm done with it. And remember, we have 5 parameters to generate a campaign. And the first 3 parameters, which is the source, medium, and campaign name, is mandatory to build a campaign URL. But the rest of the 2 parameters, term and content, is not mandatory to build your campaign. You can leave it as an empty box, or you can fill it up if you want to. So it's totally up to you, and for this particular example, I'm just gonna leave these 2 boxes empty as it is. So I'm done with my campaign URL builder example. So I want my campaign summer sale, and I want to market via email. I want my source to be summer mailer. So let's just update and generate feed and see how it works in the XML file. So my feed is successfully generated, and I'm gonna go to my XML file. So in the XML file, you can see under the product ID of 295, you'll see this label named link, and after this label you'll see my campaign URL is generated over here. So this is how the campaign URL should look like in the XML file. You can see in the URL I've put my UTM source as summer mailer, so it's showing as it is. I've put my UTM medium as email, so I want to advertise my product via email. You can see my campaign name was summer sale, as I've put in the filter previously. So this is how you can generate your campaign URL in the feed. If you check the rest of the product in product number 294, the URL builder is over here right under the label of link, and it's working all over this XML file for all the product of my site. So that's how you can generate campaign URL using the filter campaign URL builder. So guys, I'm almost at the end of today's video. I have only one filter left to describe, which is string replace, and I'm gonna tell you now how it works. First, you have to select an attribute. These are the product attribute you can select from. I'm gonna select my first product attribute as product description, and let's just add another row here. Let's make my second attribute as product title. So what this product attribute selection does, it actually replaces your string within this attribute. So if you make this attribute as product description, it will replace that string in this particular product description attribute, and it won't work outside the product description. If you select the attribute as product title, it will only replace the string within the product title, and it won't work anywhere outside product title. Let me tell you what these boxes does. The first box says string to search, and the second box says string to replace. What string to search does, it actually searches whatever you will type in this particular box, and it will search this string throughout this whole attribute. It will search for all the product product description and it will search for this particular string which you will be putting in this box. And in string to replace, it will actually replace this box with this one. So whatever you will type here, it will replace with whatever you will type here. Let me show you an example to make it more understandable. Let's just use a product to make a good example out of it. Let's just go with two product because obviously I have two string replacement, so I'll be going with two different product. Let's make the first one as fabrics. Let's just make the second one as suit. Alright, I'm good to go here. And obviously I've made my first string replace attribute product description. So I'll be looking at the description of my fabrics and I want to replace this string flexible with something else. So let's just type flexible at my string to search and I want to replace this string flexible with comfortable. And let's change something in product title. My second example was suit. So I want to change my product title suit with something else. So suit is a string. So definitely I want to search for suit and I want to replace suit with, let's go with jacket. I'm all good to go here and if I just update and generate feed, go to my XML file and search with the product ID of fabrics which is 221, you will see in the product description that my string has been successfully replaced. I've replaced the string flexible with this term comfortable. Let's see if it worked with the second one which was suit. I'm gonna search for product number 220 and if you look closely at the title of product number 220, it actually changed the title from suit to jacket. So previously my string was suit and now I replaced suit with another string which is jacket, and that's how string replace function works. So that was all the functionality of filter and I have described each and every filter separately and elaborately. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching.